Hello, everyone in the United States, Haiti, and around the world. And welcome to the new virtual Spring Gala of Haitian Educational Initiatives. I'm Jim Whitcomb, president of HEI, and I'm joined here by several distinguished board members. Board members, show your hand when I say your name. We have Jerry Azor, a leader in the Haitian American community in Fairfield County, who's been working hard all day on vaccination programs for Connecticut. Hello, everyone in the United States, Haiti, and around the world. Eve Rose Romulus, a senior administrator at University of Bridgeport, who's from the Jacmel area. And Rosamond Joseph, a banker at Key Bank, whose family is also from Jacmel. And our founder, Susie Whitcomb, who started this whole project following her rescue work at the time of the 2010 earthquake. Now, most of you probably know that we're the warm-up act for the Academy Awards later tonight. The Academy actually called me to ask that we finish on time so we don't draw their audience away. So we'll try and move through this promptly. But it's hard to stop the party because we've run away for a Caribbean holiday at our base of operations in Haiti. And we're delighted to have you join us here. Welcome to Jacmel, a beautiful old colonial town on the south coast of Haiti. We're at the Hotel Savatier in Jacmel, in our dreams actually, but we're pretending for the next 45 minutes. We've mixed ourselves some drinks with Haitian rum. That part is real. So let's start with a toast. Team, a toast to our donors.
Thank you, donors.
Welcome, donors. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you. My drink's called Emma's Downfall. We're going to have to rename that Jim's Downfall. This is great, actually, because I'm taking lessons in Creole. And I found that rum drinks help me speak foreign languages better, though my English sort of falls apart.
Another 5 minutes.
A couple more of these, I'll be speaking fluent Creole by the end of the show. So now, while we're still coherent, we're going to take you past the headlines and introduce you to the children and their community that you support. Haiti, as we all know, is desperately poor and currently racked by violence, with devastating effect on the lives of Haitian children. But people who know Haiti have called it a tiny country with the courage of a continent. We hope you'll see that and agree that the children of Haiti merit our support. If you feel so inspired, please consider making a gift tonight. It's easy to do that as we move through the program. I'm going to turn right now to our board colleague, Nelson North, who will explain how to do that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nelson North. I hope you'll be surprised and moved by your night with the talented and spirited kids in our programs. If you want to support these youngsters and the staff who nurture them, here are 3 ways to do it. Number 1, you can go to the Donate Now section and make a donation that will help us keep feeding, educating, training, and encouraging the 150 kids in our care. A $500 contribution will provide one child with everything they need for school, weekly hot meals, and job training for 1 year. How many kids would you like to support? Number 2, if you are intrigued by the details of daily life in our programs, then view the items displayed in Bid and Buy. You may get pleasure out of pitching in for several needs, like socks or dishes or a new computer. Your every selection is a material benefit to our kids. Number 3, you can also pull out your cell phone and text HEI to 76278 to make a contribution. 87 cents of every dollar we spend goes straight to Haiti. When in doubt, give all 3 ways. Whatever means you choose, your donation will give the gift of education, the food kids need to thrive, and the job training for our high school seniors to graduate job ready. We have earned the GuideStar Platinum Seal for transparency, so you know we will carefully steward your contribution. Thanks very much for your help.
Now, if you prefer to pay by check or through a donor-advised fund, just go to the checkout, make your purchase donation, and we'll contact you afterwards for payment. We've had a great start already tonight with over $6,000 donated towards tonight's goal of $20,000. For the first time, we've got corporate sponsors tonight. We've got Fairfield County Bank, Gala Foods Supermarkets, Bridgeport Store, and Haviland Whitcomb Design. I'll talk more about them later. Let's start off with Susie. Show us your video now about how HEI started.
Where did Haiti come from and what do we do? One of my favorite sayings is, hope is a verb with its sleeves rolled up. Let me tell you how HEI and our donors rolled up our sleeves and got to work on hope for severely impoverished kids in Jacmel, Haiti. After retiring as a college English professor, I went to Haiti as an aid worker after the 2010 earthquake and was assigned to teach English and French in Jacmel. I taught adults desperate to find jobs and children squashed into crowded tent camps. My work took me to damaged schools, makeshift orphanages, and clutches of shy kids looking for trash to play with. I noticed community leaders and child rights advocates attempting to protect abandoned and dislocated kids under trees by the roadside, teaching them their rights and distributing whatever food they could gather. They were operating without any help from the government or NGOs. I also discovered that half of school-age children in Haiti had no access to education, and that half of those whose parents could pay the $40 in annual tuition fees for primary school dropped out after the 5th or 6th grade. The pressures of poverty were too great. Kids might work in the fields and tend the goats, but drugs, prostitution, and child slavery were more tempting options. Parents were desperate to feed their kids. Much has been written about the mismanagement of foreign aid during that time, and I was convinced there had to be a better model. Two Haitian-led community groups in particular were already rolling up their sleeves to create protected spaces for children in their neighborhoods, one in downtown Jacmel and one 7 miles up the coast in semi-rural Jacmel. I asked them what was the best way to address the lack of access to education, and they advised a holistic approach. Scholarships covering tuition, uniforms, books, and school supplies were vital. But children can't concentrate in class when they're hungry, and both parents and children need hope for the future in the form of job skills. Parents would allow their kids to continue their education if we would feed and train them. We had a deal. From the beginning, our Haitian partners have designed and run the programs, getting a local buy-in for our centers. HEI's Board of Volunteer Directors have provided guidance in program management, accounting, and reporting. We are a deliberately small organization. We take our responsibility to the children, our partners, and our donors very seriously. Therefore, we disperse funds 1 month at a time, and partners submit monthly expense reports with receipts. We are in regular contact by phone, email, and text, and we make site visits when safety permits. I've been to Jacmel over 20 times now, and I think it's a great thing that Creole-speaking board members Yves Rose Romulus and Rosemond Joseph are taking over that role. HEI's mission is to enable Haitian community leaders to rebuild Haiti child by child by providing tools otherwise unavailable: education, nutrition, and job training. We know that it will take generations to change Haiti, but after 10 years of diligently rolling up our sleeves, we've already nurtured 3 young people from primary school to their high school graduations, and we have 150 more kids in the pipeline. I hope you'll join us in celebrating the graduations of 6 more kids in July. Each one is a hope finding its own expression. Please share the joy of supporting these children's blossoming with us. Thank you.
My heart is always in Haiti, and apparently my body is too tonight. I'm sorry, I am failing to materialize on my screen. But you can see from this story that when I went to Jacmel, I saw people with tremendous entrepreneurial spirit, tremendous desire to take care of themselves and make a better life. And what they needed were partners who could match them with the resources they need. It was such a humanitarian, appealing situation. I couldn't be a human being in that environment and not respond. And over the 10 years, we've built wonderful relations with our partners. And it's been so satisfying to watch the children in our program grow.
You know, there's so many good causes that are supported by our friends on this call, but a conclusion I've reached from my visits to Haiti is that our support there is transformational, not just incremental, but transformational. The difference between education or no education, stability and a way forward versus utter destitution, and helping a kid has a ripple effect through the entire community. So we hope that you'll think about donating. Now, Susie, speaking of transformational, introduce us to Dejina Oliam.
Yes, let me tell you about one of our students, Dejina. Dejina, you can see her picture on your screen, came to us in 2011. She was 6 years old and in the first grade. Look at those adorable pigtails. She's now 14 years old and in the 8th grade, and she wants to be a pediatrician when she finishes her classical studies, which means her secondary school.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Suzanne. Good afternoon, HI staff. My name is Dejina Oliam. I am 14 years old. I live in Raymond with my parents. I am in 8th grade fundamental to Chrétien de Sivage School. After my classical study, I would like to be a doctor. I thank HI staff for his support. God bless you.
You know, these kids are so eager to learn. They're so resilient. They demonstrate for more school. I can't recall my kids demonstrating for more school. It's the other way around. They'll walk for an hour or more each way to get to school, coming down from the mountainside. They're proud of their school uniforms and their moms keep them spotless. Their families are proud. These children are usually very friendly and very cheerful, despite their total poverty.
I know for sure, Jim, my kids wouldn't walk a mile. They'll give up after a mile. Definitely. But it is heartbreaking to see those kids, how they're dedicated to education. They wake up early in the morning, hardly have any breakfast, but in their mind, it's the education that counts. So definitely, it's hard to see.
So now let's go for a walk around Jacmel. We want to show you some things that you won't see on the news.
Although the political and economic news from Haiti is grim, there's so much about the country that is vibrant and beautiful. It's a culture that pulses with creative energy. It's closely attuned to nature, to music and dance, and to art and poetry. We want to show you the Jacmel we love. The trip to Jacmel from Port-au-Prince is about a 3-hour drive or a 10-minute plane ride. Either way, we cross the 7,000-foot Chaîne de la Salle mountains. They are steep and deforested. In remote canyons, tiny farms precariously wedge themselves on narrow strips of arable land. Tracks peter out in the higher regions, and so farms must be reached on foot or by donkey. Farmers emerge from the brush on the side of the main highway, carrying produce for the market on their heads or loaded on their animals. They leave bales of fruit and vegetables wrapped in banana leaves on the roadside to be trucked into Port-au-Prince and Jacmel. This woman drives her donkey back up the mountain from our center in Kai Jacmel. Also on the road, you see people walking for miles to get fresh water from mountain springs. Rivers and streams create waterfalls and swimming holes, like Jacmel's famous Bassin Bleu. There's a special turn on the road when suddenly you can see Jacmel Bay. 3 rivers converge near Jacmel, and from the road you can see animals and people on their rocky flats, washing their clothes and cleaning their trucks and motorbikes. Here, clothes dry on the cliff as women scrub by this mountain stream. Haiti was a French colony, and its sugar cane and coffee were shipped out of Jacmel. Today, the waterfront has become a community gathering place. A mosaic promenade winds along the shore, leaving just enough room for fishermen to pull up their boats and dry their nets. At night, families bring their dinners down here to enjoy the breeze. Children run around while parents rest, eat, laugh, and dance to live bands or recordings. Artists display their work. Racks of jewelry for tourists attract the eye, and vendors unpack small bottles of the local spirit, Clairen. There's a moving story about this area. It's in the artist's quarter, which, because it is poor, suffered severe damage and many deaths during the earthquake. Many children were orphaned or dislocated and were deeply traumatized. The artists who survived challenged these children to search in the rubble for objects like broken china, colorful pieces of glass, and shiny metals. Out of their finds, the artists and children built a mosaic of the Tree of Life. It rises here out of the rubble as a symbol of faith and renewal. Over the years, the wall has been extended and the designs are whimsical and fun. Mosaics now rise up all over the city. Jacmel's colonial history can be seen in the architecture of the old buildings dating from the 1880s. A city fire destroyed even older ones. Large, high-ceiling ground floors provide cool spaces for art galleries, workshops, and cafes. Above, wrought iron balconies overlook the street, while interior rooms catch the breeze from the gardens below. Jacmel's architecture inspired New Orleans when refugees from Haiti's 1804 revolution moved there to preserve their colonial way of life. Although poverty and earthquake have damaged many old buildings, the brilliant colors of the Caribbean pop up everywhere. Jacmel is the arts capital of Haiti. Wandering the streets of the artist's quarter reveals tiny shops selling gaily painted papier-mâché products, carnival masks, and stone and wooden sculptures. Some bowls and vases even use banana and tobacco leaves. Metal workers pierce and beat oil drums to make wall art that can be painted or simply varnished, like this rah-rah band you see playing in the streets during Lent. Jewelry makers produce necklaces and bracelets. Other artists paint trays, table mats, and coasters for tourists. Haitians are also inspired painters and sculptors on a big scale, as you can see in the sculpture by Harold Girard. Here are just a few of the styles you might see in Jacmel. The naïf paintings of Harold Saint-Jean depict colorful and sentimental images of village life with slender trees rising above neat shacks and flowering shrubs. Likewise, artist Amboise imagines a clean and colorful alley leading to the harbor. More naturalistic paintings like this conversation between 2 fruit sellers by Lugner Pierre capture glimpses of rural life. But the trauma of the earthquake still reverberates in dark, nightmarish, more abstract works. They can be painful to look at, like the pain they're trying to convey. Still more complex are the pieces inspired by voodoo rituals and deities. This is just a taste of the abundance of art emerging in Haiti. Haitian music is equally diverse. Both the art and the music reflect the cultural influences that have converged on the island. These ancestors parade in Jacmel's Carnaval. Dancers act out the indigenous Tainos, the French, Spanish, and English colonists, slaves from Central and West Africa, and the numerous American, Latin American, and Caribbean sights and sounds available on the TV and internet. The mix of origins mirrors an overlapping of religious traditions too. The indigenous Tainos had their religious practices, which succeeding Western colonists did their best to destroy. Catholicism was the religion of French and Spanish colonials, and they imposed it on their slaves. But the voodoo traditions of the slaves remain today and parallel Christian images in uncanny ways, like this painting of Spirit Ezuli Denteur, protector of women and children, which resembles a Madonna and child. Of course, the streets in Jacmel resound with jazz, merengue, which is merengue, and hip-hop creole. But here are some sounds that might not be so familiar to you. Compa is a lively, danceable form you'd hear on the promenade at night and in Paris, too. The ballads of the troubadours, called Toubadou, are also very popular. This music video was filmed at a large beach in Jacmel. I used to hear the drumming and singing of a nearby voodoo ceremony from my hotel bed at night. Their rhythms underlie the playing of the rara bands that parade through Haitian towns during Lent. Finally, here's the very politically charged musique raisin that calls for freedom from decades of oppressive dictators. We wish we had time to introduce you to the poetry, folklore, novels, and stories that swirl around Haiti. The children in our programs love to recite them. But we hope you have enjoyed this sampling of the beauty and culture of Jacmel, where the children you support are growing up fast.
As you can see tonight, based on the picture behind me, Jacmel is a very beautiful place. And the Sivazi Hotel is one of the many beautiful places you can visit in Jacmel. There's Raymond Leben, which is a beautiful beach. If you go to Jacmel, you have to go there. We have Lac New York. Lac New York is a very touristic area where you can go and see the culture so vibrant, so vivid, and so beautiful there. And of course, how can you go to Jacmel and not talking about the national carnival that they have every year. It's where the culture meet the people and in a very, very, very nice way. And that's where you get to really see what Jacmel is really about. And people make what they can with their hand to make sure that they bring that culture so forefront. And for me, some of the best time that I have in Jacmel is during carnival season. Not because of music or anything, but it's to show how the culture of Haiti is just so vibrant there, so constant in your face. So definitely, if you go to Haiti, Jacmel should definitely be on your bucket list. That being said, I'm passing it to Yvonne, can tell us a little bit about how Jacmel is for her.
Yes. Many of you may wonder if the picture that we see behind Rosemont is actually that way. And I am happy to tell you, yes, it is. The sky is as blue as it is right now. And my favorite part is Bassin Bleu, which is a park with a water fountain where the children can go and swim. It is absolutely, absolutely spectacular. Like Rosemont said, I have to talk about Raymond-les-Bains, which is a beach. But my favorite part there is the food that they sell, fresh fish and conch meat, fried plantain. It's simply beautiful, and the food tops it off. Again, music, carnival is another wonderful time for the people. It's a getaway for them to forget all about their issues, the political issues. Everyone look forward to that period of time, whether it's children, grown-ups. They get a lot of visitors. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place to be, and I'm happy to be there tonight.
Eva Rose, I think that the Haitian Tourist Bureau is going to offer you and Rosemont a job right after this call. So
I'm ready.
show us something about your work with our partners in downtown Jacmel, CASED. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Yvonne Romulus, the HEI Director overseeing our partnership with CASED. That is short for Cercle des Amis des Enfants en Situation Difficile, meaning Friends of Very Vulnerable Children. Mika Ancien represents CASED. She has been advocating for children's rights since 2004. Also on our team is Peterson Jean-Pierre, Assistant Director at Jacmel Expression, an arts and vocational school in downtown Jacmel. Peterson is introducing more advanced program management and reporting techniques for us. Although CASED has run after-school and summer camp programs in the past, current conditions have forced us to focus just on scholarships for 84 children. They range from grades 2 to 13. Haiti has 13 grades and are about 45% boys and 55% girls. In Haiti, it is not uncommon for more boys to enroll in school than drop out to work. Our scholarship package provides an average of $120 per child per year for tuition fees, uniforms, books, and school supplies, but that depends on what costs parents can cover themselves. A dollar saved on one child can be spent on another. Unlike the U.S., Jacmel has few public schools, especially in our part of the country. Almost all are private. Now, private does not mean elite. It simply means that parents have to pay tuition. The schools may be relatively large open-air facilities made of cinder block and wood that have a classroom for each grade. Or they can be 1 to 2 room houses in which different grades squeezed into different corners. Even the high schools have few of the amenities we take for granted here, like electricity and running water, much less science labs, libraries, gyms, and cafeterias.
Some schools offer a subsidized lunch, but if parents can't pay even the smallest sum, their children go hungry. Haitian school children are highly identifiable on the street. Our students attend 45 different schools in Jacmel, and each school has a different uniform. Girls wear pinafores or skirts with blouses, socks and shoes. Boys wear shorts or long pants with dress shirts, socks and shoes. Because there are no school buses, kids have to walk several miles to attend class unless they are lucky enough to get a ride on a top-top or a motorbike. It's a challenge to stay in school these days. COVID-19, violence, food, and fuel shortages. These are obstacles parents and children have to contend with. But our students have shown great courage and determination. 98% completed their year of studies and were promoted to the next grade. The first 3 students from CASED's program will graduate from high school this July. They came to us as youngsters. Thank you for helping them through and giving hope to many families.
Yes, to our past donors and our new donors, on behalf of the Haitian American community, I want to say thank you for all the donations that you have made in the past and coming into the future. Our goal today is $20,000 and we're halfway there. Please click on the donate button. We have 3 ways to donate, and you can also donate by checks. Your money will go a long way to the education of the kids in Haiti. Thank you again. I'd like to pass it to Eve Rose now.
Thank you, Jerry. I would like to quote Nelson Mandela: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is the key to eliminating gender inequalities, to reducing poverty, to creating a sustainable planet, to preventing needless deaths and illness, and to fostering peace. And I am happy to say that HEI, with the help of the donors, is doing exactly that in Haiti. I know we are here, we don't really see or feel the impact your donation may have. That quote says it all, as we are saving one part of the country, one child at a time. I thank you again.
Now let's meet another transformational story. Susie, tell us about Wisley.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to your meeting Wisley. Here he is when he was 9 years old and came to us in the 2nd grade. He's now 19 and in the 10th grade. And I think it's important to say here what Haitian kids have to go through to go to school. Wisley at 19 has seen an earthquake with his and lost his parents. He has been dislocated, living with 4 brothers and sisters with an uncle, then now 1 sister and his grandmother. He's endured a cholera epidemic, hurricanes, floods, famine and drought, food shortages, school closings, and political violence. So as much as we have a hard time being patient when we're homeschooling our kids during COVID, I think these children show tremendous determination in pursuing their secondary school career. So now Wisley is 19, he's in the 10th grade, and when he finishes secondary school, he'd like to get a degree in business administration. Here's Wisley.
Hello, friends. Hello, Susan. Hello, Steph HEI. But my name is Jacmel Wisley. I have a 19 years old. I live with my grandmother and my grandsister. I haven't secondary 2 of the lycée Bolson Chancy and the Jacmel. But I have finished my study classical. I look like to the study and the sciences administrative. I'm very, very happy and then foundation FGBG. I with my heart, the directors HI who supported during my study classical. Thanks, Direction HI. God bless you.
Of course, education is very important for those kids, but needless to say, with the education, the expectation is for them to get job in the future. And those skills that we teaching them here at either FJBJ or CASED, those skills will help them getting secure job in the future. Job in Haiti, it's not something that very easy to get, I would say. Job creation is not, it's not something that's in the forefront. There's not a lot of private or government job. It's just who you know, basically. So having those skills, giving you a glimpse of chance for you to get a job in the future, however that may be. But not having any skills at all is just making it even harder than you can imagine. Therefore, it is very important that we use everything we have in our power to make sure those kids are ready when they're done with school, that they are able to go somewhere and present their skills, that they're able to get a job in any capacity that it could be. And of course, a lot of them create their own jobs by doing different things. And again, those are the skills that we're providing here in the program. So part of what we do, even though it's education, but it's job creation in the future through education. And Yvonne, I'll pass it up to you for a little bit.
Yes, thank you, Rosemont. So therefore, your donation is much needed, much appreciated. As you can see what it is doing, the students are able to go to school, learn something, and they are very willing to pay it forward because they see the investment that was provided to them, and they want to continue that. So words are not enough for me to say thank you in advance for reaching out to your pocket to make donations so we can reach our goals, and also to keep helping the children in need, and they will continue to pay it forward. So it's a lifelong investment that you are doing tonight.
So we're making great progress towards our goal of 20,000. Right now we're at $12,350. Thank you so much to all of you who've reached deep in your pockets. It's so appreciated. Let's take a look now at our other program in the rural area, a few miles outside of Jacmel, called Kai Jacmel. Rosemont, show us the video with your work with FJBJ.
Hello, my name is Rosemont Joseph, the HIE director working with Foundation Jacmel Joseph, called FJBJ for short. They are located in a small seaside area near Kai Jacmel. The foundation was established in 2008 by the Bell and Joseph family. They are the two Go family in their neighborhood. They have dedicated their house and ground to program for children in small nursery, school during the week, and our Saturday feeding and job training session. The whole family participated. Madame Bellon, her son, her 5 daughters, her nephew, and a close family friend, Claude Saint-Hilaire, is the foundation director. Bruno Joseph administers scholarship for 64 children and oversees the Saturday program for the same kids. His sister Nadege and Yula run the weekday preschool and teach craft to our youngest participant. Sister Wolf teach needleworks, dressmaking, and baking. Sister Yolanda and Judith do the shopping and the cooking. Friends Kevin, Charles teach computer and does the accounting. Saturday start with a prayer, then job training began. The craft even the youngest kids learn, like making paper flowers, bamboo doorways curtain, and making bracelets are aimed at future employment. Christelle, now graduate, learned to make bracelets and sold them in the market to make money for rides to school. Paper flowers are used instead of fresh ones at weddings, funerals, and other events in Haiti. The bamboo curtain can be sold in the marketplace. They're also making decoration in the house. The morning provide a welcome chance to read, sing, and play together. The older kids concentrate for hours on needleworks, including dressmaking, brodering, and crocheting. They measure themselves and make their own pattern for clothes, which they sew themselves and their family. Many of the girls make their own uniform using manual and electrical machine granted by Project Redwood. Tailoring is a respectable trade for men in Haiti, so both boys and girls participate. Cooking and baking are the money-making skills that contribute to the kids' standard of living. Food is sold in school, marketplace, and restaurant. In the interest of promoting FJBJ long-term suitability while teaching kids to run a business, Project Redwood help us to equip a bakery on site. The kids have learned to bake cakes, donuts, and other snacks to sell at school and in their neighborhood. The pandemic has forced us to close last March, but we hope to reopen this year. As you can tell, the boys are just as flower covers as the girls. Kevin Charles, a loan officer during the week, teach our children the use of computer, granted by Project Redwood. The students learn Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and navigate the internet. Several have Facebook accounts. Fortunately for our older students, there is an art and vocational school downtown called Jacmel Expression. When conditions permit, we send 15 to 25 kids a year there for after school and advanced courses in computing, English, and dressmaking. Photography is a popular subject. The students learn how to take photos and use them on the internet to advocate for causes that are important to them. The internet gives them access to future job opportunity around the world. Weekly cooked meals are essential to the success of our program. Knowing that their children will be fed and nurtured in a safe and supervised environment by a family they trust, give parents the confidence to let their kids go to school. Madame Belen assists her daughter in preparing rice, beans, and a healthy stew of vegetable. And the protein of goat or chicken, they also prepare fresh fruit juice for the children, unless the kids are treated to their favorite bottle juices. The scholarships, meal, and job training that FJBJ provide are vitally important to nurturing a generation of Haitian. Equally important are the values the Belen family Joseph instilled: healthy body, mutual respect, nonviolent conflict resolution, and responsibility to their community. Those Saturday gatherings provide safe space for children to learn, laugh, and grow. No matter how stressful life may be outside our walls, the sense of belonging to a family, of caring, friends, help our first three high school graduates, Micah, Christelle, and Annette, beat the ad to complete all 13 grades. Partnering with FJBJ is our HIE help. We build Haiti child by child. Working closely for the past few months with FJBJ has shown me a lot about those kids, especially transportation wise, how it is so hard for them to make it to school. As Jim mentioned earlier, some of them walk more than 1 or 2 miles just to get to school. And it's because of that, we only have a certain program only on Saturdays that every kid can participate. So transportation has been a major issue. Me personally, I've been working closely with the director to figure out basically a way to fix that problem. But it is not something lightly, because you never know. There's strike going on every week, politics unrest, you name it. So you never know when transportation will become a major problem. And those kids from the mountain that barely can make it, barely have any transportation, if you will. You have to be on a motorcycle, or no tap even goes up there. So it's kudos to them. I mean, I give my heart to those kids just for trying to make it to school, even on a Saturday alone, just to make it to our program. So it's definitely something to think of. And I'm sure the kids are grateful that you guys are helping out tonight. And I'm sure Susie gonna tell you a little bit more about that.
We've had some questions from our donors leading up to this event. We thought we'd take a few minutes tonight just to answer them. So let me toss out the first question to you all. There must be many more children in need in Jacmel. What plans do we have to expand our programs? Jerry?
Well, I think definitely with the support that we're having with our donors and the success that we've been having, I think it will be wise for us not to reach out to more kids trying to help them out. As you know, I'm from Haiti myself, and there's a lot of help needed out there. I think we're better positioned than most group out there that I know, with the support of our donors that we have, to reach out to more kids and reach out to our programs. Definitely, I think we can.
I think the path to doing that is developing partners that we can trust, because that's the core of our platform and how we ensure that donor funds are properly applied.
I agree.
Another question our donors have asked are, what possibilities for college are available to our graduates? Because we have 3 graduates now.
I mean, right now we do help with books for graduate, but that's something we can discuss in the future. But again, as James has mentioned, it's finding partners that can be trustworthy and make sure the money is been properly, the donors' money have been properly used. And on top of that, we have the capability of following up on all those things as well. So it's the need is there, the want for us to do it is there, but it's make sure having the proper procedure in place in order for it to happen.
Eve Rose, can you tell us what colleges and universities are nearby?
There are a number of private and public colleges available to the students. It is up to the students to select a specific major, and with CASED or HEI or FJBJ, we will assist the student with selecting the proper school and help support them. Again, I cannot express the urgency or the importance of the donations, because that will help us in providing more support for the children to go to college, and so they can pay it forward.
Last question is, people are asking, can we visit Jacmel? How do we get there? Are there safe places to stay?
Well, Jacmel is probably one of the safest places in Haiti, tell you the truth. As much Haiti is a political unrest going on right now, Jacmel is probably one of the best places to go to. You can take you can fly directly from JFK to Haiti to Port-au-Prince, and you can take a small plane from Port-au-Prince directly to Jacmel. And if you decide to drive, you can also drive, but the plane is obviously much faster. There's a number of hotels, including Sivadi Hotel, where we are right now, which is a beautiful place, and Susie can attest how they have taken care of her in the past. So definitely, you should definitely visit Jacmel, and I can guarantee you have a good time.
And let me just add that Rosemond does not work for the Jacmel Tourist Board, but I'm sure he will shortly.
They pay me under the table. That's
But Jim, could you address one other question that's come in? What safeguards do we use to ensure that donor money does get to its intended purpose?
But as the violence has escalated in Haiti, we've scaled back certain programs to make sure that we're focused on programs that we can verify, that we can get documentation of receipts and so forth for the purpose of donor funds. And we're being very cautious at the moment. Yes, we'd love to scale up our program as we find very trustworthy partners, but we're doing this very carefully to make sure that all our partners are providing us all the backup and documentation to support the use of donor funds. And clearly, I mean, Haiti is dealing with tremendous volatility, instability. There's a lot of corruption. So we have to, and it's central to the way we operate, is to focus absolutely as a top priority, the verification of the proper use of donor funds.
And Susie, may I add that myself and Rosemond, we oversee our partners in Haiti. We communicate on a weekly basis with them to make sure that when the funds are received, they understand clearly what to do with it, how they're spending it. They send reports to us on a regular basis, just showing us what they do in case they may need more, or if they have questions or concerns, if a child is at risk, so we can support them. So I have to say, as the director of HEI overseeing the ins and outs of the funds, we work closely with Susie and the other board members to make sure that your money is being spent the way we explained to you we are spending it.
And I'd like to reassure donors that we have won the Guide Star Platinum Seal for Transparency. So we're a top ranked NGO for the clarity and transparency and accountability of our dealings. But I think the proof is in the pudding. And I'd like to introduce you to our recent graduate, Christelle Joseph. Came to us when she was 13 and in the 7th grade. She just graduated in November and wants to study nursing at the University of Haiti. And in this video, she says, I want to go to college, but I need help with books. And in fact, we are making donations towards books, though we do not have a college scholarship available. But Christelle is a very enterprising young woman, and she learned how to make bracelets and then sold them in the marketplace and earned money to get rides for school because she didn't want to walk the miles to school. So we applaud her initiative and know that she'll go far. Here's Christelle.
Good afternoon all. Good afternoon Susan. Good afternoon HAI. I am Christelle Sandy Joseph. I am Foundation Saints 8th question. Now I am finishing my serious classical studies and the support of HAI. I have always had a desire to study nursing, like in phrase here at Lumiere University. We are several girls under whom we are taught several subjects. I will pass from here to study after the internship. I would like to work in the pediatrics department. The NAT to study is difficult because there is not book. Doing research is very difficult, but I determined in myself. Hope God will lead me to success. Thanks to the whole members and the director of HAI who support us.
Again, in summary, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you that attended our Zoom tonight. And also a special thank you on behalf of the Haitian American community and the diaspora, and also in Haiti, for all the donation and the supports and the dedication that you have shown to us to support those kids in Haiti, their education. As Yves Rose said before, education is a passport now to the world. And also, we would like to say thank you again to all the board members. And Jem, thank you for mixing my drink. It was a little too strong, but that will do. Next time, just hold back on the alcohol, please. So again, we look forward to seeing you next time, and we look forward to hearing from you. And Jem, I'll pass it on to you so you can have a small talk with the donors.
Yes, Jerry, I'm sorry, I thought I mixed you a Shirley Temple, but clearly I confused the various bottles. So thank you to our donors who have been so supportive over the course of this program. We're now at about $14,000. Our target, again, I'd point out, is $20,000. We're just so grateful for all of you who have given donations of any size. But if you have enjoyed the program and you feel inspired by looking at the beautiful faces of these kids and recognition of the need and how so much of every dollar has an enormous transformational impact, we hope that you'll see what you can do for the remainder of the program. Again, to pay by check or a donor advised fund, you can just sign in, press donate, and leave your choices in your cart. We will send you a statement tomorrow with instructions for sending your payment. I'd like to give some thanks now to our sponsors, our corporate sponsors, Gala Food Supermarket. And no, they did not change their name for our gala tonight. It's a tremendous place to shop, and hope you'll check out their store in Bridgeport. Fairfield County Bank, these are some of the friendliest people, friendliest bankers I've dealt with, who help us with our foreign exchange transfers to Haiti. And last but not least, Haviland Whitcomb Design. So for all of you who are now thinking about buying a house down in Jacmel, just ping Haviland. I'm sure she can help you to touch it up, freshen it up. Let me also thank Tushar Dayal, my nephew, who Tushar put this together, along with Joan O'Connell, two brilliant techies who have made this happen. Tushar runs broadcasting for Chuck Schumer in the Senate, so he's got top shelf tech expertise. But Tushar, I've noticed while you've been working on this that Schumer's ratings have fallen off, so we need to get you back onto that job. But greatly appreciate the work that you've done. Now, let's toast our donors. My English is flagging, so I have a toast in Creole that I might offer. Fellow board members, let's raise our glasses. Merci à tout donateur New York. Nous remercions nous tous. Venez visiter Haiti bientôt. We thank you all. We love you all. Please visit Haiti soon. And we're going to turn shortly to a thank you song from our kids. Now, the donation page will stay open. Please linger on it for a long time. And I'll leave it with, the Creole is just flowing out of me. Bonsoir, nous remercions ou.
Bonsoir. Thank you very much again. Thank you for all the donors. Thank you, board members. Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Yves Rose, how was my accent?
Excellent. Keep the alcohol coming.
You did very well.